Oi, oi. Good morning, early risers. Big up to every single one of you. This is, of course, Aaron Talks Arsenal. This is the morning show. We're going to talk about a couple of little bits, a couple of little transfer rooms. But first off, I wanted to say big up to Dan Potts. He was gracious enough to allow me to come on his platform last night and have a little chat before we was rudely interrupted by a gal. And the stream went really good. And it sort of wanted to get me talking about something specific. And that specific person, or player rather, I should add, was Max Dowman. I'm quite intrigued about the young man because Arsenal Football Club, we know we are absolutely screaming out for a proper number 10. Because let's face it, Martin Odegaard is not our creative spark. He hasn't been for quite some time, to be fair. Um, Maybe it's because he is going on holiday a little bit too much. He's living it up. Apparently, he deserves it. Who knows, eh? Who'd have thought? He's gone for a cheeky breakaway between the Newcastle game. You know, he deserves it because he had that good shot once. Do you remember? He had that good shot against PSG, so he deserves a little holiday. But I digress. We're going to talk about this man, and it's more Max Dowman. Now, I know, look, these stats, I'm not here to talk about them stats because, you know, they're under 18s. Even though he's a 15-year-old, it's absolutely impressive. What I more want to talk about is career path and as more as opportunities. Because if you was Max Dowman and you was looking at the pathway to the first team under this manager Mikel Arteta, do you think he'll actually make any first team appearances? Because I want to compare this with Ethan Nwaneri because they play in similar positions, slightly different players. But if you have a look at the chances Ethan Nwaneri's been given this season, yes, he's been given chances. That cannot be argued. That's fact. He has made minutes. But more the question is, why has he made so many minutes, Ethan Nwaneri? It's because he's been backed into a corner. And that's where I'd be a little bit worried if I was Max Dowman. I'd be looking at why did Heaven go to Manchester United? I'll be looking at why did Chido Obi Martin go to Manchester United? And then I'll be looking more as well at the opportunities that other players, other young players specifically, have been given at Arsenal Football Club under this manager, of course. And to me, I don't think they've been given anywhere near enough. Now, look at Nwaneri. The only reason, really, Mikel Arteta played Ethan Nwaneri is because he had to. Let's just be honest with each other. Chat, me and you will be honest with each other. He had to play Ethan Nwaneri. Why? Because Odegaard was injured. And when Odegaard initially got injured, he actually chose not to play him. It was only when Saka got injured and then also Martinelli that he realised he had a bit of an injury crisis in that forward line, in that central sort of player, because he obviously played on the right side as well with Saka got injured. So, you know, he only really plays young lads when they're injury prone, when he's got a lot of injuries or injury crisis. So let me just give an example of this. When he came into Arsenal initially on the 21st, I believe, 21st or 22nd of December, 2019, he had a lot of players injured then, which is the only reason why he played Emile Smith Rowe and Bukayo Saka. If there weren't injuries at the club or that club weren't a mess, he wouldn't have played them two. So he only played them two when he was backed into a corner. He didn't see some fantastic potential in Saka. He didn't see, even though there was, let's face it, he didn't see any amazing potential in ESR. He just had to play him because there was no one else. Now, you can copy and paste that as well for Miles Lewis-Skelly. Now, you have a look at the player on the left-sided attack. The only reason he played at left back this season is because he had a left foot. That is the only reason. Because he doesn't trust Tierney as well. For some reason, he's the best left back at the club, Kieran Tierney. He doesn't play him. Calafiori is constantly injured. And he doesn't rate Zinchenko there now. He's finally figured that out after 2-3 years, that Zinchenko is not a left back and he's not good enough. He's susceptible to long crosses. He's beaten by the first man way too easy. He can't be trusted. Look at the Anfield, for example. I mean, twice Zinchenko absolutely got ruined there. He's not a left back. So the only reason that Miles Lewis-Skelly's put at left back is because he had a left peg. Literally it. And then you look at Nwaneri. Guess what? One or two players come back. Talar Ethan. Bye-bye, Ethan. And Miles Lewis-Skelly, I mean, fair dues to him. He's made the position his own. But he didn't start and play in that position because he was great. Mikel Arteta, even though he actually came in and he said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I see from the first training session. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The first training session, he's a left back." That's how arrogant the man is. I mean, when you actually put that into perspective, he was 17, 18 at the time, Miles Lewis Skelly. All of the coaching, all of the effort that had done to that stage, and you've got Mikel coming in and going, "Yeah, yeah, he's a left back." They're all like, "Yeah, we kind of been working on this for about 15 years, Mikel." Just saying. And exactly, yeah. Then this is just saying. I will come to the chat in a little bit. Obviously, that's the last little bit, but you're right, man. Exactly, yeah. That's a great point. That's a fantastic point. So if you were Max Dowman, and everyone always says, and I've watched quite a bit of him, not live, to be fair. I haven't watched any under 18 games live, but I've been, you're following his career. When you hear all of these sort of bits about, a possible generational talent, like apparently Max Dowman is, you start watching him and, you start watching, the clips of the under 18s and this and all of that. And look, you've got to half take it with a pinch of salt, because I'll reiterate again, it's still only under 18s football. However, there's nothing you can do about that. Now, I'm assuming all you world class chat know the reason why Max Dowman couldn't play this season. There is actually a reason, and it's not Mikel Arteta's fault. The reason why he cannot play this season is because the Premier League rules permit that you have to have been 15 and turned 16 in that same season. You can't be 14 and turn 15. So whilst you can be a 15-year-old playing in the Premier League, you have to at some stage in that season turn 16. And of course, it was round the other way for Max Dowman. He wasn't just wasn't old enough to be able to play in the Premier League, which was a bit of a shame, really, because I think, would have definitely seen him on the bench, considering when you look at the bench that we had over the last 2, 3 months, really. He definitely would have easily been on the bench, and he probably would have made his debut by now. But that's not really the question I want to talk about. I want to talk about is moving forward with this manager. Do you think Max Dowman under this manager will get opportunities next year? Now, that's all well and good. Again, I'll rein my own opinion in. This is the morning show, so we're gonna be cool and calm about it. I do also appreciate that next season he'll only be 16 years old. That has to be thrown in there, 150%. We can't just go, "Oh, is this and all that." We always have to appreciate that next season he is only 16. Next season, Mikel Arteta might not play him simply because he's just not ready yet. We don't know, so I'm also willing to rein my opinion in on that just a tiny little bit. But also, he's got a lot of work to do, especially in that position. Why? Because we know that Mikel Arteta likes his tens, or is definitely his creative central players, however you want to label them. We all know that he likes them to have work rate. Now, I totally disagree with this. I think you all know my take on this. I'd set a challenge for the chat and myself as well, and anyone else. I asked this to a gal last night. On Dan Potts's, and he swerved the question in classic, typical a gal thing, because he came on and he criticised what I just said about Max Dowman and what I'm about to say, and I'll share it with every single one of you wonderful so and so's. Good morning to you all. Number 10s are not supposed to be defensive minded players. They are not designed to track back. So here's what I said to him. I was like, if you can name me one world class number 10 that has been, one world class 10 that is, and one world class 10 where you sort of kind of think he will be in the past, name me one of them in the history of 10s whose best attribute, who's well renowned for this, is tracking back. I'll wait. I'll save you all a little bit more time because it's early. It's 4 minutes to 8. There isn't one. There is not one. There is not a number 10 whose main attribute, who's world class, is tracking back. Because guess what? They're not designed to do that. That's not what we should be expecting of our number 10s. Granted, I'm not saying you've got to be a lazy so-and-so like Ozil. That is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is let the magicians do their magic. You go into a magic show, you want to see magic. That's what I want to see from our number 10s. Because guess what? If the number 10 is at central defensive mid, or is lingering around in the centre, or is tracking back and we win the ball high on the press, Guess who's not up top to feed through them eye of the needle passes? That flick pass, that pass that no one else can make. Guess who's not there? Yeah, that's exactly right. Your number 10 is not there. And that's all I want. I want him to orchestrate stuff right in front of a striker who's ready to either receive the ball and flick it onto his wingers, or he's ready to spray passes out and cut defences for our wingers to run in onto, converge in front of goal and finish and have one-on-ones. That's what I want my number 10 to do. I don't know if you can see very well, ladies and gentlemen, and big up to all of you for turning up. I know it's early, but we do what we do. This number 10 here, this number 10, this is my example. Dennis Burkamp, for the ones that cannot see that. I mean, great. He had some good work rate, Dennis Burkamp. I'm not knocking him. But what do you reckon if Martin Odegaard, if he was like Martin Odegaard and was running and sprinting back? It's not designed to do that. These players are not designed to do that. And, you know, maybe I'm not a fan of this man. I'm not. I'm not a fan of Martin Odegaard. However, if genuinely he is being told to track back and he has been unable to make all of these passes by design or whatever, then I somewhat sympathise with him purely because he's being held back. Now, I will always say it. I don't believe he's good enough anyway. But the point I'm trying to make is this Max Dowman, if he's coming through and we can see him, he beats his man extremely, extremely, extremely well. He's got an eye for a pass. He's got everything. Can he do it in the big leagues? We will have to wait and see over the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years. He's 15, not 16 yet. So again, I rein my own opinion in. I can kind of hold that. You know, I'm willing to hold that. Um, I just think maybe this man's pathway could be blocked under Mikel Arteta. I really do, and that would be a shame. It'd be a shame, you know, to see him maybe go and think the same thing, and he's in Manchester United colours again next year because you know it's not going to be long until he's can sign his first official contract, his pro contract. 'Cause he'll still be on a schoolboy one. He'll still be on a schoolboy contract. I just think if he looks up and sees, oh yeah, Ethan Nwaneri, you know, he's not really getting the opportunities. Yes, he has had minutes, Ethan. Yes, absolutely. But considering the injuries that we've had this season, considering the players that we've had out of form, i.e. Martin Odegaard, there has been great, great, great opportunities for Ethan Nwaneri to have more minutes. The reality is he probably should have had more minutes. The reality is he hasn't. And I think that's down to a little bit of management. And I just hope our youngsters coming through like this, who could be generational, everyone loves that G word, generational, doesn't sort of look at it and get off put by staying at the Arsenal because I don't want to see them all go to Manchester United. It kind of hurts. Chido Obi Martin's been making minutes. I know they're crap over Manchester. They really are. They're absolute tosh, but they're still getting minutes. They don't care. They're getting minutes at Manchester United, and I just kind of hope you know that we see a little bit of that Max Dowman next year, and same for the youngster players as well because when we're looking at transfers, I think a number 10 would. Can you imagine we all got a Florian Wirtz? We'd all be buzzing, wouldn't we, chat? Let's get it right. We'd all be buzzing, 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 signing Florian Wirtz. But we might have two of the players or similar S players here already. So, you know, whilst I do understand that, you know, we probably won't get a player like Florian Wirtz, we've got to nurture the players that we've got here, like Max Dowman and like an Ethan Nwaneri. We've got to do that. And Arteta has to be doing that a little bit better for me. Now, I don't know about you boys, but as well, last night we said on Potsy's, we said about a front three. Now, this front three would excite me. I'll come to the chat in about 5 minutes. So I'll do this very, very, very quick. We've been linked with this man again, yeah? Rodri. I've done a little morning show about it the other week, last week. We've been, Rodrigo, rather, apologies. I don't know about you boys, but this is a front three. This man and this man. Loose reports, of course. Victor Gyökeres and John Arsenal this summer, they offer around 60 million in sterling, of course, to Sporting. I don't know about you boys, but a front three, or girls maybe, front three of Victor Gyökeres with this man on the left, and of course our star boy. Whoops, I'll zoom out. You know, too early for my face, innit? I totally get it. I don't know about you boys, but yeah, having this man on that left-hand side totally, totally, totally changes the way Arsenal Football Club could be going forward with Victor Gyökeres and attack to Bukayo Saka. It changes the whole outlook because it's stale at the minute, isn't it? our attack. I mean, whoever's in the striking position, whether it be Havertz when he turns fit again, whether it be Jesus, who probably won't ever be the same player again, whether it be Mikel Merino, God forbid, it be Mikel Merino, it's got a bit stale. Martinelli, he's all right, but I mean, you'd have thought it'd have been kicking on by now. Martinelli, it's just a bit stale for me, isn't it? And if we had the front three of Martinelli, you had the front three of Havertz, you had the front three of Saka, or you had Saka, Rodrigo, and Gyökeres. I mean, you're going into the season with quite a bit of a different outlook for me. I'll be buzzing. I'm not gonna lie. If we manage to get Rodrigo, who I think's available-ish, we're sort of seeing maybe for around the 75, 80 million mark. And I don't know about this. This is a loose report saying, about 60 million. I can't see it being 60 million if I'm being totally honest with you. But let's just say 75. Let's just say you get both of these players, Rodrigo and Victor Gyökeres, for 150 million. That transforms, absolutely transforms going forward. It just does. I'm going into that season. Okay, granted, there are absolutely more areas that we need to be working on, but we have neglected this area of the pitch for far too long. If we go into the league with the current front three, I mean, I'm completely already writing the season off. We go into the season with a front three of Victor Gyökeres, Rodrigo, and Saka. I don't know about you boys. I've got a smile on my face. Now we know there's other positions like this geezer. We desperately need to get someone like this. This is a proper market opportunity. Absolutely, especially considering you can stagger it over 3 payments, the 50 million deal. Now, everyone might be saying, "Oh yeah, but what about Saliba? Where does he fit in?" No problem. If you want a winning squad, he's there. What about if Saliba gets injured like he did 2 years ago? What about that? Because we still haven't replaced that right-sided centre back. And I tell you what, this young man here, if Saliba's out of form, which he's been a little bit iffy, he just has been a little bit iffy. We've got no one to come in there. We've got Ben White to come in. What about if he gets injured again? We've got no one to come in. And Ben White ain't a centre back. He's a right back, or he's not a good centre back for me. We need to be thinking about excellent opportunities like this. And I don't know about you boys. This is one player I would absolutely, pardon me, absolutely take in a heartbeat. These are the fantastic signings we've been needing to make. He's already Premier League proven. You know, have a contingency plan. This is what Arsenal don't do well enough. Have a contingency plan. So by that I mean, let's just say, for argument's sake, we agree a deal with Saliba. He signs a new deal, 5 years, wicked. We're all happy, but we also sign Housen as well. Yeah, so he's in. What about if next season Real Madrid come in and go, here you go, Mikel, here you go, Berta, 150 million for Bill Saliba, but you've had someone like Housen in there for a year, and he's doing well, and he's ready to step into that right-sided centre-back place. All of a sudden, 150 million is sounding that little bit tastier. Then you've also got his replacement already there, already embedded in that team. You can go, okay, no problem. And guess what? We ain't got to now struggle around in search for a right-sided centre-back. Then all of a sudden, every single club in the world now, Arsenal Football Club, are in for a right-sided centre-back. So what a 50 million centre-back costs now costs 80 quid, because they know you've got a lot of cash. They know you've got a lot of cash, and they know you are desperate. So get a contingency plan. Like when Real Madrid's midfield, we all know that midfield. Modric, Kroos, and Casemiro. They signed Tchouaméni. They signed Bellingham. They signed Camavinga while they were there. Why? So they could have that nice seamless crossover. We need to start doing things like that. But let's come to the chat now. Big up to everyone in there, man. Big up to you, Luca, brother. Big up Rumble. Early doors in the morning, man. Big up to all the morning people, man. Come on, it's double early. What we saying? Hopefully you're going to have a good day at work today. I've got to take the kids to school in about 10 minutes. So we'll just get through a couple of the chats, and then we will part our ways. Max, how you doing, brother? Good morning to you, mate. Morning, Aaron. Great show with Dan yesterday. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it was all good, mate. Everyone was having a good old laugh. You know what I mean? A gal came in and done a gal shit, but what can you do? Apologies for the morning swearing. Good morning to you, AJ Byatt. Big up, brother. Buster, you're saying 85th minute, Coventry, if we're winning by 5+ goals. Yeah, big up to you, Buster, mate. Good morning. Hope everyone's good, yeah? Everyone's saying a few little hellos to each other. Let's scroll down a little bit further. Ashley Pope, big up to you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Joseph Tyrell, mate. Big up to you for not letting a gal interrupt you yesterday. I know, yeah. Listen, man. Like I said, he was just doing a gal things, wasn't he, man? He was a little bit rude, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100, bruv. James, brother, big up to you, my man. Thank you very much for jumping in. Don't forget as well, give FamZone a little cheeky like and subscribe over there. Show Justy some love. He's a good lad. Big up to you as well, brother. FamZone. AJ, but I don't believe Max is already better than Odegaard. That's a big shout. You've got to see him in the leagues first, but I kind of know where you're coming from. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he needs to go. Yeah, listen, yeah, I totally agree with you. We've obviously got to see how Max performs in the Premier League first before you can definitely double down on that. But I hear what you're saying. It's more of an anger or disappointment towards Odegaard, that comment, in it, really, to be fair. And that's where I sort of feel you. He just hasn't been good enough this season. And I do hope next season, one, Max Damon gets given the chances, bruv, and two, he does step up to the plate, because we've seen over the years Arsenal Academy, especially with the strikers. Let's go all the way back to like older heads. You'll remember this. We had like Arturo Lupoli. Do you remember him? We bought an Italian thing. I mean, this is about 20, 25 years ago. We bought this young Italian called Arturo Lupoli, and he was absolutely destroying everyone in the league. Do you remember Anthony Stokes, people? Come on, man. We are going back, man. Anthony Stokes in the building. They were absolutely ripping teams to shreds. Just weren't able to cut it in the big leagues. So hopefully that's not what Max Downman's all about as well, man. Big up to you, KLS, bruv. Always a pleasure. Always appreciate all the watches. And we got here, man. Every single right winger's got a chance. Yeah, Saka now made it out. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, facts. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I don't think he should get much game time as a young lad, but maybe a Carabao Cup. Yeah, listen, we've got to utilise that. Absolutely, 150%, bruv. Good morning to you, Arsenal Alex, bruv. Big up, man. Big up, Aaron. Yeah, no, 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 no. I'm good. Yeah, yeah. I've managed to hold it in and not mess the bed this morning, Anthony. Yeah, no, you're all good. And I haven't ever done, by the way. It's Anthony on the wind up. Just letting you all know. Joseph Tyrell. Fuck's sake, the chat tried to say Lampard, yeah, but I don't think he counts. Nah, 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 nah. Lampard had good work rate, but he also won a 10, was he? Do you know what I mean? He was a central midfielder. I'm not, that nah, 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 nah. Sarah, I think that's about the number 10 thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What we saying? So Buzz like, nah, I wouldn't really say that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, we're not world class. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, D mate. There ain't one. Do you know what I mean? That's the point I wanted to make. I mean, if you can Google one there, find one, then it'd just be the anomaly if there is one somewhere out there. But I think being a world class at tracking back and then also being a magician going forward, I mean, you just can't really do both. And if you can, I mean, you're an unbelievably special player, man. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, no, yeah, that's right, Luca. Go over and give them some support, mate. Do you know what I mean? Growing channel. They're getting their stuff out there. They've always got good guests on. Always, sometimes don't agree with their opinion. Sometimes do. You got to have a bit of a difference in opinion. Otherwise, it's double boring football. Let's get it right. So everyone's opinion's got to be things. Sometimes just the gal takes it a bit too far. Good morning, Lawrence, to you, brother. How you doing, my friend? Did you watch the video of that old school gooner who says there's already tension between Arteta and Arsenal? Could our wishes come true? Yeah, and he could be getting fired. Well, I mean, we just keep our everything crossed there. We just keep everything crossed. I don't know. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. I usually send me some bits and all that. Or if you post in the chat and tell me where to go, I'll happily look for it myself. Robbo in the building. Big up to you, brother. What we got? We got about another 5 minutes. I'll try and get through all the comments as best as I can. Yeah. For Saka and ESR have done good and bad for our youth. Um, Created, hope to break through, but also pain that current gaffer will strip the creative skill out of them. Yeah, yeah. Ask for a loan for Max now. Yeah, look, listen, yeah, a future sort of loan could be something that's good for him. In a year or so's time, maybe, when he's a little bit older, I'd want him, especially at 15, 16, I'd want him to stay at the Arsenal for at least another 2 years so the club can nurture him whilst he's so young. I'd rather him here at Arsenal, so we can sort of really shape him. When he's 17, 18, knocking on them doors, I'd rather maybe send him out. Depending on how good he is. He might be a Yamal, he might be a Fabregas. He might just come straight in and just go, yep, I was just absolutely born to play in the Premier League. You just don't know. It's just going to be one of them have to wait and see sort of moments, isn't it? Cryptics, brother. Big up to you, mate. Famzone saying I'll take it a step further. Striker's best attribute is the hold up player work rate. They can't be great either. Firmino, yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, like what you say. He was sort of great at that holding things, but he's never really a great striker, was he? He was a great link up striker, really, wasn't he? Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's tricky to disagree with that point, D. Um, I make two great points. Great, there isn't a number that number 10. I'm assuming that's world class in the women's game. That tracks back as well. You watch a lot of that, so yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll have that. De Bruyne. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's absolutely world class. Let's get it right. But I don't know, man. Yes, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Morning, Aaron. Big up to you. Up the Chills. Done a lot of watching the Max Dowman. He's a very, very talented dad. Yeah, yeah, same here, man. And yeah, listen, smash them likes. Come on, man. I know it's early, but 2 clicks, 2 seconds. That's all it takes, man. Ash, what you saying, brother? I've seen Ozil. Yeah, keep having a look. And he didn't have the ball. Yeah, he was terrible, wasn't he? Yeah, yeah. So when the ball passing, knows where the players are. That's it, man. Ozil was phenomenal, man. It's just unfortunately, it all went a little bit too sour and south for him at Arsenal, didn't it? But he had 2 or 3 seasons there where he was absolutely unbelievable, Ozil. And you could see that he was a creative player. I mean, when Cristiano Ronaldo is a little bit peeved off that he's left, and Ronaldo made a big old stink about it as well. Yeah, you kind of know you got a good player in your hands. Yeah, the problem is that he's the captain. Do you know what? Yeah, I reckon stripping him. But I don't agree with stripping him mid-season because I think, especially before we had the PSG game, it would have just caused unnecessary added friction, etc., etc. But I do think if they're going to move forward, Arsenal Football Club, that's one of the awkward, if you want to call it, questions that they have to have. Well, do we need a new captain? And I think the answer is yeah. At the end of the season, it might be good for everyone. Put it on Gabriel. It might even want to give him some incentive to stay at the club and sign a new deal. That's not the only reason why I'd give it to him, by the way, because I think he'd be a fantastic captain. Copy and paste for Declan Rice. Do I think that? Yeah, I'd have it. And then also, it might even help Odegaard. One less sort of burden. Just concentrate on being a player. So it might sort of work out as a positive and a win-win situation everywhere. Um, Big up to you, Gwinzy. Big up, mate. Um, always a pleasure. I've seen you in the chat recently. Big up to you, my man. Do you think Palm would work in our team as a number 10? Yeah, yeah. It depends how we're going to play. Not as a right wing. Do you know what I mean? There's no point in having him there. But I think if we was to go for a 4-2-3-1 double pivot and then have someone like Palmer up there, yeah, absolutely. We know we can finish. We can put away a penalty as well. I mean, let's face it. He's been a little bit struggling of late, but I think that's just a bit of poor form. It coincides with Chelsea. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you do get dragged down in amongst the crap that's around you. Sorry, Wilbras. Robbo, doesn't matter though, since well, mate, Rodrigo, a left wing back. Yeah, big up, bro. I'd have loved Desi. Big up to you, mate. I really would have. Me, Lee, and Matty were backstage, and Normski as well. We were all backstage last night. We didn't do a live stream. We was watching players backstage, just having a little chat off cam, watching a few bits and all of that. And we was all saying about Eze, and we got the Bundesliga up as well. And we see Elise, ladies, and gentlemen, man. Why didn't we sign Elise? Why did we not sign Elise for that amount of money as well, man? Oh, come on, man. Really, really, really poor players we've missed. Could you imagine having like an Elise and a Kvaratskhelia in your team and they cost 100 million for the pair of them? Come on, man. We'd have been a different team this year. Wow. That front three paper gets me excited. It's absolute fact. Yeah, that's what we need to do, mate. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. That's that. And this is right. This is why I said that, Will, by the way, up the Chills. Every top business has contingency plans. Exactly right, man. That's why I'd have that house in him because do you know what? Again, I'll repeat it, but I won't go around the houses by saying it. If Saliba goes, we've already got the replacement there. No one's pulling the old pants down. Do you know what I mean? No one is because they're already there. Saliba's 23, bro. We can't be planning for him to leave. Look, listen, you've always got to have that in the back of your head. This is where I slightly disagree with that. Yes, he's 23. I agree with you. I don't want him to leave, bro. I'm not saying that. I really, 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 really ain't. But he could sign a new deal this year. Oh yeah, I love Arsenal absolutely. And Real Madrid could come in and go, we're going to give you 400k. You're going to win the Champions League, and his head could be turned. There's nothing we can do about that. It's all player power now, bruv. So do you know what I mean? We need to be planning for him to stay. Absolutely, 150%. We also need to be planning just in case he leaves. You can't do one and not the other because if you get caught out, you get caught out with your pants down. D. And then this is one of the things. I'll make that point again. If he does go and gets his head turned, there's nothing we can do about that. If he decides he wants to stay at Arsenal this season, he stays at Arsenal this season. If he decides he wants to go next season, there is absolutely nothing we can do about it. But what I do know is So if Saliba gets injured like he did 2 years ago and it coincided with us bottling the league, we haven't got a right-sided centre back, bruv. So why not buy a good one now anyway? And then if the worst does happen and Saliba goes, oh, guess what? You've already got a cover. No one's charging you 80 million for a 40 million pound player because you're desperate. You don't have to run around. He's already there embedded. So I'm going to have to politely disagree with you there, bruv. Um, Good morning to you, SG, mate. Cheers for popping in. Mob as well, big up to you. Good morning. Yeah, we just been having a little chinwag about a Max Dowman and, chances and, a bit of contingency plans for Housen and the front threes would like. But big up, man. Big up to you for stopping in. You're good in as well. Big up, brother. Didn't I warn you about Egel? I caught some of the stream on Potters last night. Yeah, listen, I've been on with him a few times. He gets frustrated. Yeah, do you remember Jeremy Elliott? Yeah, that was he broke through in the Invincible season, man. And Carlos Vela, yeah. Do you know what I remember about Carlos Vela? He going through and forward, he always dinked the goalkeeper quite well. He's always, always, always so good at that, wasn't he, man? Why doesn't Slot have Salah doing it exactly right? He came in, didn't he? And he just changed the way he played. And it was for the better. Absolutely, absolutely for the better. I've realised for the time. I'm gonna have to apologies if I don't read some of these out, because I do have to skim through a couple of them. Big up to you, Hendo, man. Always appreciate it. It was to being abusive last night. Exactly. He came on and he just ran his mouth. He didn't have an opinion to say. He just came on to unsettle the party with complete nonsense. He was being rude. He came on, yeah. And Matty, we all told him, but Matty told him. CJ, big up, brother. Morning that. Apparently, Arteta wants Sesko. No, no, no. Please, 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 please. No Sesko. No, no, no Sesko. Edu did a Stanley and took 4 million out the club. Wow, if that's true, man. Yeah, that is no good. Yeah, that's no good, man. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. If that's a fact. Yeah, he's my boy, man. Good morning. Good morning to you, Prome. Good morning to you, bruv. And he's saying good morning, chat as well. I'd even love Ardagula at Arsenal. I said this to Lee last night. I said to him, I was like, oh, because we've got such a lot of things to look at positions to sign, to say we spend 150 million on that front three, i.e. Gyökeres and Rodrigo, and we get, say, Housing and we've got Zubamendi, and there's 250 million right there. We obviously do need more positions. And I said to him, what do you reckon about if we was had the opportunity of loaning out Ardagula just to plug that position? There's no option, there's no this, there's no that, just to have it there. The first thing he said was, Real Madrid ain't letting him go. And then I tried saying, oh, yeah, but he was like, no, they're not letting him go. So, yeah, I think whilst I would like him there, someone who heavily watches Real Madrid and Spanish La Liga was like, yeah, he ain't going nowhere. But to answer your question, if that wasn't availability, yeah, of course I would for a season, even if it didn't have an option. 100%, to help plug that position, 100%. We need to sign him. Him equals top gooners. This isn't Football Manager. Oh, big up, man. We got Carnage in the building as well. Last question, and then I do have to take the kids to school. Pick up Aaron. A bit late to the party, brother. Just got in from work. Oh, man. Well, listen. Thank you very much for stopping by and everything like that. I hope you had a good shift, and hope everyone in the chat, every single one of you, if you're on your way to work or you're just an early riser like me, I hope you have a great, great, great day, whatever it brings to you. And we will be back in the afternoon. We'll be back in capacities all day. Wednesday's a busy day. We'll be with DG, I think. Or maybe on Never a Foul still. I usually go on the Wednesdays. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But regardless, have a wonderful day, people, if I don't see you. And if I do, I'll catch you then.